Dr. Hyunwoo Park sat in his small office aboard the research ship Harmony, staring at the emergency message that had just arrived. The red letters on his screen made his stomach feel sick. He read the message 3 times, but it still did not make sense. Urgent. All human diplomatic missions suspended. Ambassador Lee Gina and security team quarantined on Nexus Prime Station. Centauri Alliance threatens to ban all humans from their space. Medical emergency declared. Your expertise needed immediately. Hyunwoo was the best xenobiologist in the human fleet. He studied alien life forms and helped humans understand how different species lived and worked. But this message was strange. What kind of medical emergency could cause such a big problem? He pressed the call button on his desk. Dr. Moon Soo-jin, please come to my office right away. Bring Dr. Yoon Da-yoon and engineer Kang Min-ho too. We have a serious problem. Within 10 minutes, his 3 best team members were sitting around his small table. Dr. Moon Soo-jin was an expert on human bodies and how they worked. Dr. Yoon Da-eun could speak and translate many alien languages. Engineer Kang Min-ho was the best at fixing and understanding medical machines. What is wrong? Asked Soo-jin. She could see the worry on Hyunwoo's face. Hyunwoo showed them the message. Our first diplomatic mission to the Centauri Alliance has failed badly. Ambassador Lee Gina and Captain Kim Tae-ho's security team are trapped on their space station. The aliens think something is very wrong with human bodies. Da-yoon frowned. Wrong how? Are they sick? That is what we need to find out, Hyunwoo said. The Centauri are calling it impossible biological anomalies. They think humans might be robots or carrying some kind of weapon inside their bodies. Min-ho laughed. That is crazy. Human bodies are just normal human bodies. Not to them, Hyunwoo replied. We have 72 hours to fix this problem. If we cannot prove that humans are safe, the Centauri will ban our species from their space forever. That means no trade, no friendship, and no way to join the bigger galactic community. The team was quiet for a moment. This was much bigger than just a medical problem. The future of humanity in space depended on them. What exactly happened? Soo-jin asked. Hyunwoo pulled up more files on his screen. Ambassador Lee Gina arrived at Nexus Prime 5 days ago for the first official meeting between humans and the Centauri Alliance. Everything seemed fine at first. The aliens were polite and seemed interested in meeting humans. He clicked to the next screen, but then came the medical scans. Every species that visits Centauri space must have their body checked by alien doctors. It is a normal safety rule. And? Da-yoon asked. And the machines broke, Hyunwoo said. Not just one machine. Every single medical scanner they used on the humans either stopped working, gave impossible readings, or started making alarm sounds. Min-ho shook his head. Medical scanners do not just break like that. What did the readings say? Hyunwoo pulled up a translation of the alien medical report. According to their chief medical officer, a creature named Veltar, human bodies are impossible. The alien doctors think our bones are made of some kind of super strong metal. They think our blood contains explosives. They believe our body temperature is so hot that we should be dead. That is ridiculous, Soo-jin said. Human bones are just calcium and minerals. Our blood carries oxygen with iron. Our body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. All of that is completely normal. Normal for us, Hyunwoo pointed out, but maybe not normal for them. We know almost nothing about Centauri biology. What seems normal to us might seem impossible to them. Da-eun was looking at her translation computer. I am trying to understand their language better. The word they use that we translate as impossible might mean something different. It could mean frightening or dangerous or even magical. Great, Min-ho said. They think we are magic. Or dangerous, Hyunwoo added. Which is worse? The Centauri have put all humans in a special medical quarantine area. They will not let them leave until they understand what kind of weapons or technology humans are hiding inside their bodies. Soo-jin stood up and walked to the window. Outside, stars moved slowly past as their ship traveled through space. We need to get to Nexus Prime and see these medical readings ourselves. Maybe we can explain what is really happening. I agree, Hyunwoo said. I have already asked the captain to change our course. We will arrive at Nexus Prime in 18 hours. But we need to prepare carefully. If we cannot convince the Centauri that humans are safe, this could start a war. A war? Min-ho asked. Think about it, Hyunwoo explained. The Centauri Alliance includes dozens of alien species. They have big military ships and control many important trade routes. If they decide humans are dangerous, they might attack human colonies to protect themselves. The room was quiet again. Everyone understood how serious this was. Taiyun looked up from her computer. I found something interesting. In Centauri language, they have a word that means life form that should not exist. They are using this word to describe humans. What does that mean exactly? Sujin asked. It means they think human biology breaks the rules of how life should work, Daeun explained. Like we are somehow cheating or using fake biology. Hyunwoo nodded slowly. That makes sense. Every species evolves differently. Maybe human bodies work in ways that Centauri bodies cannot work. To them we might look like we are doing impossible things. But we are just being human, Minho protested. Exactly, Hyunwoo said. And that might be the problem. We need to understand Centauri biology first, then figure out why normal human functions seem impossible to them. Sujin sat back down. What do we know about the Centauri species? Hyunwoo pulled up another file. Not much. They are silicon-based life forms instead of carbon-based like humans. They look a bit like living crystals. They are very smart and good with technology, but we do not know much about their bodies or how they work. Silicon-based, Sujin repeated thoughtfully. That could explain everything. Silicon life forms would be very different from carbon life forms. What seems normal to us might be completely alien to them, and what seems normal to them might be alien to us, Da-Eun added. Hyunwoo stood up. We have 18 hours to learn everything we can about silicon-based biology and Centauri culture. When we get to Nexus Prime, we need to be ready to explain human biology in a way that will not frighten them. And if we cannot? Minho asked. Hyunwoo looked out the window at the stars. Then humanity's future in space will be very short and very lonely. Nexus Prime was the biggest space station Hyunwoo had ever seen. It looked like a giant crystal flower floating in space with long arms reaching out in all directions. Beautiful lights moved along its surface in patterns that seemed to pulse like a heartbeat. Wow, Minho whispered, as their small shuttle flew toward the docking bay. It is like a work of art. Remember, we are here to solve a problem, not to sightsee, Hyunwoo reminded his team. But he had to admit the station was amazing. The docking process was smooth. As soon as they stepped off their shuttle, they were met by a Centauri guide. Hyunwoo tried not to stare, but it was hard. The alien looked like a person made of clear blue crystal. Light seemed to move inside its body, and when it spoke, the sounds came from somewhere deep inside its chest. Welcome to Nexus Prime, the Centauri said in perfect English. I am Veltar, Chief Medical Officer. Thank you for coming so quickly. We have a very serious problem. Daeun stepped forward. We are here to help. Can you show us the medical data from the human scans? Veltar made a sound that might have been a sigh. Its crystal body flickered with red light. Follow me. But please prepare yourselves. What we discovered about human biology is disturbing. They walked through corridors that seemed to be carved from solid crystal. Everything glowed with soft light, and the air smelled like ozone after a thunderstorm. Other Centauri moved past them, their crystal bodies chiming softly like wind chimes. Your station is beautiful, Sujin said politely. Thank you, Veltar replied. We grow it rather than build it. Crystal formation is much more efficient than metal construction. But that is not why you are here. They entered a large medical room filled with strange machines. Everything was smooth and curved, made from the same crystal material as the station walls. In the center of the room was a large display screen showing medical charts and numbers. Here, Veltar said, pointing to the screen. These are the scan results from your ambassador Lee Gina and her security team. As you can see, the readings are completely impossible. Hyunwoo looked at the display. Even with his scientific training, it was hard to understand the alien medical data. Can you explain what each reading means? Veltar's body flashed red again. Where do I begin? First, human bone density. According to our scans, human bones are denser than the metal alloys we use to build starship hulls. This should be impossible. How do humans move with such heavy skeletons? Sujin smiled. Human bones are not that heavy. They are hollow in many places and designed to be strong but light. What seems dense to you is normal for us. Normal? Veltar's voice rose higher. Look at this comparison. The screen showed two skeleton images side by side. One looked delicate and thin like it was made of glass. The other looked thick and solid. The thin one is a Centauri skeleton. The thick one is human. How is this possible? Minho studied the images. Your bones look very different from ours. Are they made of silicon? Yes, naturally, Veltar said. Silicon crystal formations very precise and efficient, but also very delicate. A human bone would crush our entire skeleton with its weight. But human bones do not crush us, Sujin explained. Our muscles and organs are designed to work with our bone structure. Everything fits together. Veltar made another strange sound. That brings us to the next impossible thing. Human blood. The screen changed to show blood cell images. Your blood contains iron. Iron? How do you not die from metal poisoning? Iron is necessary for us, Sujin said. It helps carry oxygen through our bodies. Without iron, we would die. But iron is a reactive metal, Veltar protested. It should explode when mixed with organic compounds. Our medical computers calculated that human blood should spontaneously combust at normal body temperature. Dayun was typing on her translation device. I think there is a misunderstanding here. What do Centauri use to carry nutrients through their bodies? Light energy transmission through silicon pathways, Veltar explained.
Very clean and efficient.
No dangerous metals required. That sounds amazing, Hyunwoo said. But humans evolved differently. We need metals like iron to survive. Our bodies are designed to handle them safely. Veltar's crystal body flickered rapidly. Designed by whom? What technology created humans? Not technology, Sujin laughed. Evolution. Natural selection over millions of years. Impossible, Veltar said firmly. No natural process could create such dangerous biology. Look at this next reading. Human body temperature. The screen showed temperature measurements. Humans maintain an internal temperature of 37 degrees Celsius. This temperature would kill most known life forms. It would certainly kill any Centauri instantly. What is normal temperature for your species? Minho asked. 15 degrees Celsius maximum, Veltar replied. Most Centauri prefer temperatures around 10 degrees. Anything above 20 degrees causes our crystal structure to become unstable. Hyunwoo was beginning to understand. So to you, human body temperature feels like we are on fire. Exactly. Veltar's body flashed bright red. How do you not melt? How do your internal organs function at such extreme heat? It is not extreme for us, Sujin said gently. Our bodies are designed to work at this temperature. We would actually freeze to death at 15 degrees. Veltar was quiet for a moment. Light pulsed slowly through its crystal body. There is more. Human digestive systems process what we consider toxic waste as food. Your ambassador mentioned drinking something called coffee and eating spicy food. Our analysis shows these contain compounds that would kill most life forms. Coffee and spicy food are not toxic to us. Minho laughed. Many humans enjoy them. Enjoy? Veltar sounded shocked. You enjoy consuming poison? It is not poison to us, Sujin explained. Human digestive systems can handle many different chemicals safely. What is dangerous to you might be harmless to us. Daun looked up from her computer. I am seeing a pattern here. Centauri biology is very precise and efficient, but also very delicate. Human biology is rough and strong, but also very adaptable. Rough and strong? Veltar repeated. Look at this final reading. The screen showed brain scans. Human immune systems contain millions of aggressive attack cells designed to hunt and destroy foreign organisms. This is not biology, this is warfare. Hyunwoo studied the brain scan images. Our immune systems protect us from diseases. The cells you are seeing fight infections to keep us healthy. But there are so many of them, Veltar protested. Our scans show human bodies are full of armies of microscopic warriors constantly fighting battles inside you. How do you survive having a war inside your own body? The war keeps us alive, Sujin said. Without our immune systems, we would die from infections. Veltar was quiet for a long time. Its crystal body flickered through different colors, red, blue, green, then back to red. Finally it spoke. I do not understand. Human biology seems designed for survival in the most dangerous conditions possible. Dense bones for protection, hot internal temperature for energy, metal-based blood for efficiency, toxic resistance for adaptation, and military-grade internal defenses. What kind of world created such creatures? Earth, Hyunwoo said simply. A world with changing weather, dangerous predators, diseases, and natural disasters. Humans had to become tough to survive. And Centauri worlds? Sujin asked. Stable, controlled, perfect conditions for millions of years, Veltar replied. We never needed such extreme adaptations. Minho nodded. So humans seem impossible to you because we evolved to survive impossible conditions. Yes, Veltar said quietly. But this creates a problem. How can we be sure humans are safe? Your biology suggests you are designed for war and survival in extreme danger. What if you decide other species are threats? Hyunwoo realized they had discovered the real problem. The Centauri were not just confused about human biology. They were afraid of it. Just as Hyunwoo was about to respond to Veltar's concerns, alarm sounds began echoing through the medical bay. Red lights flashed on the walls and the gentle chiming of Centauri voices turned into urgent, high-pitched calls. Emergency in Laboratory Section 7, announced a voice through the station's communication system. Containment breach. All personnel evacuate immediately. Veltar's crystal body turned bright orange with panic. The exotic matter lab, it said. This is very bad. Very dangerous. We must leave now. Through the medical bay windows, they could see Centauri workers in the corridor outside moving very slowly away from the emergency area. But something was wrong. Many of the crystal beings were stumbling or sitting down, their bodies flickering with weak light. What is happening to them? Sujin asked. Stress response, Veltar explained, its own body starting to dim. When Centauri experience high stress, our crystal structure becomes unstable. We must rest to prevent permanent damage. Hyunwoo watched more Centauri collapse in the hallway. Where are the humans? Where is Ambassador Lee Gina? They are in the quarantine section near Laboratory 7, Veltar said weakly. But they cannot help. They are locked in for safety. Another announcement came over the communication system. Warning. Toxic gas leak in Section 7. Evacuation proceeding slowly due to personnel medical issues. Da-Yun was listening to her translation device. The gas is not toxic to humans, she said quickly. It is only dangerous to silicon-based life forms. Then the humans are safe? Minho asked. Safe but trapped, Veltar replied. The containment doors lock automatically during emergencies. They cannot get out. Through the window they saw something that made Veltar's body flash bright white with shock. A figure in human clothes was running down the corridor toward the emergency area, not away from it. Is that Ambassador Lee Gina? Hyunwoo asked. Impossible, Veltar whispered. She is running toward the danger. And she is moving so fast. How is she not exhausted? They watched as Gina reached a group of collapsed Centauri workers. Without hesitation, she began lifting them and carrying them away from the toxic gas cloud that was spreading through the corridor. She is lifting them, Veltar said in amazement. But they weigh 3 times what she weighs. This should be impossible. On Veltar's medical scanner, they could see Gina's vital signs. Her heart rate was very high, her blood pressure had increased, and her body temperature was rising. She is dying, Veltar said in panic. Look at these readings. Her body is in complete system failure. No, Sujin said, watching the screen carefully. She is not dying. Her body is adapting. This is called an adrenaline response. Adrenaline? Veltar asked. A chemical that human bodies produce during emergencies, Sujin explained. It makes us stronger, faster, and able to ignore pain temporarily. Chemical enhancement? Veltar's body flashed between colors rapidly. Humans carry emergency combat drugs inside their bodies. It is not a drug, Hyunwoo said. It is natural. All humans can do this when they need to. Through the window, they watched Gina carry another Centauri to safety. Her clothes were torn and she had cuts on her arms, but she kept working. She is injured but continuing to function, Veltar observed. The cuts should slow her down, but they seem to have no effect. Human bodies can ignore minor injuries during emergencies, Minho explained. Pain signals are reduced so we can focus on survival. Pain signals reduced? Veltar repeated. You can control pain? Not exactly control, Sujin said. But during adrenaline response, our brains prioritize survival over comfort. We feel less pain so we can keep working. They watched as Gina disappeared into the gas cloud to rescue more trapped Centauri. Veltar's body went completely pale. She went into the toxic area, Veltar said quietly. She will die in there. The gas is not toxic to humans, Da-Yun reminded them. Remember? It only affects silicon-based life forms. But how can she breathe in there? Veltar asked. Our sensors show the air is full of dangerous particles. Human respiratory systems are designed to filter out many harmful substances, Sujin said. We evolved breathing air that was not always clean. A few minutes later, Gina emerged from the gas cloud carrying 2 more Centauri workers. Her breathing was heavy and she was covered in dust, but she was clearly not hurt by the toxic environment. Impossible, Veltar whispered. She spent 10 minutes in an environment that would kill any Centauri in 30 seconds. Not impossible, Hyunwoo said. Just different biology. Captain Kim Tae-ho appeared in the corridor, running toward the emergency area with 3 of his security team. Like Gina, they moved quickly and showed no signs of the stress response that had disabled the Centauri workers. More humans, Veltar observed, and they are all exhibiting the same impossible physiology. Enhanced strength, ignored pain, toxic environment resistance, and no stress paralysis. The human security team began working with Gina to clear debris from the laboratory entrance. They moved pieces of equipment that should have required machines to lift. Their strength has increased by at least 300%, Veltar said, reading the scanner data. How is this possible? Adrenaline allows humans to use more of our muscle capacity than normal, Sujin explained. In emergencies, we can be much stronger than usual. For how long? Veltar asked. Usually 30 minutes to an hour, Minho replied. Veltar's body flickered rapidly. You can maintain combat enhancement for an hour? Most species can only manage emergency responses for a few minutes before exhaustion. Human bodies are designed for endurance, Hyunwoo said. We can work hard for long periods when necessary. Through the window, they saw the human team successfully clear the laboratory entrance. Several Centauri scientists who had been trapped inside were rescued and carried to safety. The emergency is over, Veltar said, but its voice sounded strange. The humans resolved it in 20 minutes. Our emergency response teams were estimated to need 4 hours, assuming they could work in the toxic environment at all. As they watched, Gina and the security team began treating their own injuries. They cleaned cuts with water, applied simple bandages, and within minutes the wounds had stopped bleeding. Now they are healing, Veltar observed. The injuries are closing themselves. Is this more chemical enhancement? Natural healing, Sujin said. Human bodies repair themselves automatically. Small cuts heal in a few hours. A few hours? Veltar's crystal body went completely white. Centauri crystal matrix repairs take weeks for minor damage. Da-Yoon was working frantically with her translation computer. I need to translate what happened here for the other Centauri, she said. But I do not think they have words for adrenaline response or emergency physiology in their language. What will you tell them? Minho asked. The truth, Da-Yoon replied, that humans have biological systems designed for emergency situations. We can become temporarily stronger, faster and more resistant to damage when needed. Veltar made a sound like breaking glass. Temporary enhancement systems, built into their biology, available to all humans at any time. Yes, Hyunwoo said, but only when needed. We do not walk around in emergency mode all the time. But you could, Veltar said quietly. If you wanted to, you could activate these combat systems whenever you chose. Hyunwoo realized the Centauri medical officer was still thinking about humans as potential weapons. We do not use adrenaline for fighting, he said carefully. We use it for helping others like you saw today. Today, Veltar repeated. But tomorrow, next week? What if humans decide other species are threats? Then you would see exactly what you saw today, Sujin said firmly. Humans running toward danger to help others, not away from it. 3 hours after the emergency, Veltar led Hyunwoo's team to meet with the Centauri High Council. The council chamber was a massive crystal dome where 12 of the most important Centauri leaders sat in a circle. Their crystal bodies glowed with different colors, creating a rainbow of light in the room. The council has reviewed the emergency response data, Veltar announced to the assembled leaders. The humans demonstrated capabilities that exceed all known biological limits. The largest Centauri, whose crystal body pulsed with deep blue light, spoke first. I am Council Leader Zarmoth. We have called this meeting to discuss whether humans represent a threat to Alliance security. The evidence is concerning, Hyunwoo stepped forward. Council Leader, we are here to explain human biology, not to threaten anyone. What happened today was a rescue operation, not an attack. Perhaps, Zarmoth replied. But the capabilities we observed are troubling. We have prepared a demonstration to understand human physiology better. You will observe normal human activities under controlled conditions, Da-Yoon whispered to Hyunwoo. This sounds like a test. Be careful what we agree to. What kind of demonstration? Sujin asked. Another council member whose crystal body glowed green answered. Simple physical activities. Walking, running, lifting objects. We want to understand normal human capabilities. That sounds reasonable, Minho said. Zarmoth made a gesture, and doors opened at the far end of the chamber. Ambassador Lee Jina and Captain Kim Tae-ho entered, along with Security Officer Bae Jin-soo and Medical Officer Dr. Han So-young. Ambassador Jina, Hyun-woo said with relief. Are you all right? Fine, Jina replied, though she looked tired. A bit confused about why the Centauri want to watch us exercise, but fine. Exercise? Veltar asked. You mean voluntary physical stress? For what purpose? To stay healthy, Captain Kim explained. Humans need regular physical activity or our bodies become weak. The council members made soft chiming sounds to each other. Zarmoth spoke again. We do not understand. Centauri conserve energy whenever possible. Why would you deliberately stress your bodies? Because human bodies are designed to be used, Dr. Han So-young explained. If we do not exercise regularly, our muscles shrink and our bones become brittle. Your bodies require maintenance stress? The green glowing council member asked. This seems inefficient. It works for us, Bae Jin-soo said with a smile. In fact, I was planning to go for my morning run soon. Would you like to watch? The council members chimed to each other again. Zarmoth nodded. Yes, we would like to observe this running activity. They moved to an observation area overlooking a large corridor that circled the outer ring of the station. Bae Jin-soo changed into running clothes and began stretching to prepare his muscles. He is preparing for combat? Feltar asked nervously. Just stretching to prevent injury, Soo-jin explained. Humans stretch before exercise to keep our muscles flexible. Jin-soo began running at a steady pace around the corridor. The council members watched in silence for the first few minutes. Then the chiming sounds began again, growing louder and more urgent. How fast is he moving? Zarmoth asked. Veltar checked its scanner. 15 kilometers per hour. This is impossible to maintain. That is not very fast for a human, Dr. Han said. Jin-soo usually runs much faster than this. Much faster? The Green Council member's body flickered rapidly. For how long can he maintain this speed? He usually runs for about 2 hours, Dr. Han replied casually. The chiming sound stopped completely. The council chamber was silent except for the sound of Jin-soo's footsteps as he continued running past the windows. 2 hours? Veltar whispered. At 15 kilometers per hour? Continuously? Sometimes longer on weekends, Jin-soo called out as he ran past. I am training for a marathon. Marathon? Zarmoth asked. A 42-kilometer race, Ambassador Jina explained. Humans run the entire distance for fun. Several council members began flickering between different colors rapidly. One of them, whose crystal body had turned bright red, spoke in a high-pitched voice. Fun? You run 42 kilometers for entertainment? Some humans do, Captain Kim said. Others prefer shorter distances. I only run about 10 kilometers. Only 10 kilometers, the Red Council member repeated faintly. Veltar was staring at its medical scanner. His vital signs are stable. Heart rate elevated but not dangerous. Body temperature increased but within safe limits. He shows no signs of exhaustion. He is just getting warmed up, Dr. Han said. Jin-soo can run much longer than this. As if to prove her point, Jin-soo began running faster. His pace increased to 20 kilometers per hour, and he started talking to Dr. Moon Soo-jin, who was walking beside the track. He is having a conversation while running at 20 kilometers per hour, Zarmoth observed. How is he getting enough oxygen to speak? Human respiratory systems are very efficient, Soo-jin explained. We can process large amounts of oxygen quickly when needed. This is beyond our understanding, the Green Council member said. Centauri can walk at 3 kilometers per hour for perhaps 30 minutes before requiring rest. What you are showing us is impossible. After watching Jin-soo run for 2 hours without slowing down, the council called for a break. The Centauri members needed time to process what they had seen. While we wait, Captain Kim said, would you like to see some other normal human activities? Other activities? Feltar asked weakly. Basic strength exercises, Captain Kim explained. Push-ups, lifting weights, normal fitness routines. The demonstration that followed made the council members even more confused. They watched Captain Kim do 50 push-ups, lift weights that weighed more than most Centauri, and then help Dr. Han move some heavy equipment that needed repairing. These are normal daily activities for you? Zarmoth asked. Pretty normal, Dr. Han replied. though I am not as strong as the security team. I spend most of my time working with medical equipment. You are not strong? Veltar checked its scanner. You just lifted an object weighing 200 kilograms. That was not very heavy, Dr. Han said. I have to move medical machines that weigh much more than that. The council members were chiming frantically to each other. Finally, Zarmoth called for order. We need to understand, the council leader said. Are these abilities normal for all humans, or are these individuals specially trained warriors? These are normal humans, Ambassador Gina replied. Perhaps more fit than average because they work in space, but nothing special. Nothing special, the Red Council member repeated. Beings who can run 42 kilometers, lift objects many times their body weight, and function at high physical stress for hours, are not special? Not for humans, Gina said simply. Then what would you consider a special human? Zarmoth asked. Captain Kim thought for a moment. Olympic athletes, I suppose. Or people who train for extreme sports. They can do things that amaze even other humans. The council chamber fell silent. The crystal beings sat motionless, their bodies flickering weakly. There are humans more capable than what we have seen today? Feltar asked quietly. Oh yes, Dr. Han said cheerfully. Much more capable. Humans who can run 100 kilometers, lift 10 times their body weight, or swim across entire oceans. Oceans? The Green Council member whispered. Large bodies of water on Earth, Sujin explained. Some humans swim across them for sport. The council members began flickering frantically again. Hyunwoo realized they had made a serious mistake. Instead of reassuring the Centauri that humans were not threatening, they had convinced them that humans were even more dangerous than originally thought. The council chamber was filled with rapid chiming sounds as the Centauri leaders talked frantically among themselves. Their crystal bodies flickered through colors so quickly it was hard to look at them directly. Hyunwoo realized they had to change their approach completely. Council Leader Zarmoth, he said loudly. May I ask you some questions about Centauri physiology? The chiming stopped. Zarmoth's body settled to a steady blue glow. Questions about us, why? Because I think we are making the same mistake you made with us, Hyunwoo explained. We are looking at each other's abilities and being amazed, but not understanding why those abilities exist. Daeun stepped forward with her translation computer. I have been studying your language and culture. May I ask, what is the greatest achievement of Centauri civilization? The council members looked at each other. The green glowing member spoke first. Our computational abilities. We can process information at speeds that would be impossible for most organic brains. How fast? Minho asked with genuine curiosity. Veltar answered. A single Centauri can perform calculations that would require your largest computers. We can store perfect memories of every event we have ever experienced. We never forget anything. Never, Sujin asked in amazement. You remember everything perfectly? Every detail, Zarmoth confirmed. Every conversation, every image, every sensation. Our crystal matrix stores information with complete accuracy. Captain Kim shook his head in wonder. That is incredible. Humans forget things all the time. We have to write important information down or we lose it. You lose memories? The Red Council member asked. How do you function without perfect information storage? We adapt, Ambassador Gina said. We write books, build computers, work together to remember things. But that is so inefficient, Veltar protested. Why would evolution create beings with faulty memory systems? Maybe because perfect memory is not always helpful, Dr. Han suggested. Sometimes it is good to forget painful experiences and move forward. The council members were quiet for a moment. Then Zarmoth spoke slowly. You choose to forget pain? Human brains naturally let go of some painful memories over time, Sujin explained. It helps us recover from emotional trauma and continue living. We cannot forget anything, the Green Council member said softly. Every pain, every fear, every loss remains as clear as the day it happened. Hyunwoo saw an opportunity. That must be very difficult. How do you cope with permanent painful memories? We try to avoid pain entirely, Zarmoth replied. Centauri society is designed to be as safe and stable as possible. We eliminate sources of physical and emotional stress. That sounds peaceful, Beijinsu said. But what happens when you cannot avoid problems? Like the emergency today? We become paralyzed, Veltar admitted. Centauri stress response is to slow down and minimize activity until the danger passes. It is not effective in active emergency situations. But humans run toward emergencies, the Red Council member observed, even when it might cause pain or injury. Because we can handle pain and heal from injuries, Captain Kim explained. Our biology is designed to take damage and recover. Daun looked up from her computer. I think I understand now. Centauri evolution focused on efficiency and information processing. Human evolution focused on survival and adaptation. Yes, Zarmoth said thoughtfully. Your species developed on a dangerous world where quick responses and physical resilience were necessary. Our species developed on stable worlds where careful planning and perfect memory were more important. So we are not better or worse than each other, Hyunwoo said. We are different tools created by different environments. Ambassador Gina nodded. Captain Kim, can you show the council something? Captain Kim looked confused. What do you want me to show them? Remember last month when you fixed the navigation computer? Gina asked. The one with the quantum processing error? Oh, Captain Kim laughed. I did not fix that. I just tried random solutions until something worked. Dr. Park here actually understood the problem. Exactly, Gina said, turning to the council. Captain Kim is incredibly strong and fast and tough. But when we need complex problem solving, we ask Dr. Park. When we need perfect memory storage, we use computers. Humans work together because we have different strengths. Minho caught on to what Gina was doing. And when we need to understand alien technology, we ask Engineer Minho. When we need medical expertise, we ask Dr. Moon. No single human is good at everything. But you work as a team, Veltar said slowly. Each individual contributes their best abilities. Right, Sujin said. Humans are not designed to be perfect individuals. We are designed to be part of groups where everyone helps everyone else. Zarmoth made a sound like gentle rain on crystal. This is interesting. Centauri also work in groups, but for different reasons. We share computational power and memory storage to solve complex problems. What if, Hyunwoo said carefully, humans and Centauri work together? Centauri could provide perfect memory and advanced calculations. Humans could provide emergency response and adaptability. You would share your abilities with us? The Green Council member asked. Of course, Dr. Han said. That is what partnerships are for. Even though we are... Veltar paused. Fragile compared to you? Beijin Su laughed. Fragile? You can remember every detail of everything that ever happened to you, and do mathematical calculations in your head that our biggest computers struggle with. How is that fragile? Our crystal bodies break easily, the Red Council member said quietly. And our memories are terrible and we are bad at math, Captain Kim replied. But we can carry you to safety when there is danger, and you can help us solve problems we could never figure out alone. The council members began chiming softly to each other, but this time the sounds were musical and pleasant rather than frantic. There is one more thing, Dayan said, something important about human nature that you should know. What is that? Zarmoth asked. Today, when there was an emergency, Ambassador Gina ran toward the danger to help Centauri she had never met before. Captain Kim and his team did the same thing. They risked their lives for strangers. Yes, Veltar said. We noticed this. It seemed illogical. It is not illogical, Gina said firmly. It is human. We protect others because that is who we are. Our strength exists to help, not to hurt. Even if those others are aliens you just met? The Green Council member asked. Especially then, Beijin Su said. Proving that humans can be trusted is more important than staying safe. Zarmoth's crystal body glowed brighter. You would risk injury to prove trustworthiness to strangers? We already did, Captain Kim pointed out. Today. The council was quiet for several minutes. Finally, Zarmoth spoke. We have been thinking about this wrong. We saw human physical capabilities and assumed they indicated aggressive intentions, but the evidence suggests the opposite. How so? Hyunwoo asked. Beings with aggressive intentions would not risk themselves to save strangers, Zarmoth explained. They would use their superior physical capabilities to dominate others. But humans use their strength to protect and help. That is the point of being strong, Sujin said. What good is strength if you only use it for yourself? Feltar's body flickered through several colors before settling on a warm golden glow. I believe I understand now. Human biology seems impossible to us because it is designed for impossible situations. But humans use these abilities to make impossible situations survivable for everyone, not just themselves. Exactly, Hyunwoo said with relief. Human strength exists to help others, not to threaten them. 3 days later, Hyunwoo stood in the same council chamber, but now it was filled with both humans and Centauri working together. The Biological Diversity Accord had been signed, establishing the first joint human-Centauri research station. Ambassador Gina was working with Zarmoth to plan cultural exchange programs. Captain Kim was training Centauri emergency response teams while learning advanced navigation techniques. From Centauri computational experts, Dr. Han was collaborating with Veltar to develop medical treatments that worked for both species. "It is remarkable," Veltar said to Hyunwoo. "A few days ago we thought humans were impossible. Now we realize you are exactly what was missing from our understanding of life in the universe." "How so?" Hyunwoo asked. "We thought biology was about efficiency and perfection," Veltar explained. "But you showed us that biology can also be about resilience and cooperation. Your impossible physiology makes perfect sense when we understand its purpose." Bei Jinsu jogged past the window, now accompanied by 3 young Centauri, who were riding small crystal vehicles to keep up with his pace. "Are they actually trying to run with him?" Minho asked in amusement. "Not run," Veltar replied, "but they want to understand what it feels like to move quickly through the world instead of moving carefully all the time." Jinsu is teaching them about, "I believe you call it living in the moment?" "And what are they teaching him?" Sujin asked. "Perfect recall techniques," Veltar said. "By the end of next month, Jinsu will be able to remember every detail of his runs, every route he has taken, every conversation he has had while running. He will never lose another memory." Hyunwoo smiled as he watched humans and Centauri working together throughout the station. "So we are not impossible anymore?" "Oh, you are still impossible," Veltar replied, its crystal body